All right, what's going on, everyone? Josh up here with Lebanon Ford Mustangs. I wanted to give you a quick update here. So we're in our 2018 prototype 800, our Whipple car. We just got an updated tune revision from Dustin Whipple last night that's kind of changed the way the trans is shifting, and it's really firm. I really like it, and as it learns, it'll kind of soften just a touch, but it's really smooth now. The car is just incredibly strong, so Hannah's going to be filming it, so we're going to get some first-person perspective on the way this car kind of throws you into your seat and throws you around a little bit. I want to talk about some of the things I like about it so far that I'm not liking about it, and just kind of highlight both and see how it compares to the Roush. The one thing is that this car is all-out strong in power. I mean, you feel every inch of it, and the car just feels like it even wants more. Like it could take a lot more. So this car is far from reaching its top capabilities, which is one thing that I love about it. Cruising around, it's much like a normal car. You don't hear the supercharger. You don't feel that you're, in a supercharged vehicle until you get into the throttle. It's very relaxing. It's very comfortable for you and for a passenger if you're just going to go to dinner or just want to do some light cruising. You can still enjoy that, so you're not sacrificing any drivability at all, really. And that's the one thing that I was a little concerned about going in. Downshifting to a stop is probably the only spot that needs a little bit of improvement, but that's something that can be done over time. Whereas this 10-speed, as it just bangs down through the gears, when you get to second, first, and you just have a little bit of a hesitation, but not a big deal. Shifting up is very smooth, very linear, and power delivery is just, once it comes on strong, and that's what I really like. So we're gonna hit a couple back roads here. We're gonna play into it and just kind of lay into it on a couple straights and see how it feels. So far, loving it. I think the only thing that I didn't like before was the way that it shifted, but it's so far this drive today, it's been much better. So it's really becoming very well refined. I think that there is a big difference between the Whipple and the Roush. I think the Whipple is, because it is so much horsepower, it's all on all the time, whereas the Roush is a little bit more well balanced, I think, through the power band. When you get up into the higher RPMs of this Whipple, it just kind of takes flight and just keeps pulling. So you're strong in it all the time, whereas the Roush, I think, is more well balanced through the total power band overall. So we'll get a little bit further out into some of this farm country, and we'll lay into it a couple times for you. Yeah, and so this is Hannah's first time in the car with us. She doesn't ride along all the time. Sometimes she usually does the first drive and then maybe doesn't get back in the car after that. So we're gonna get Hannah's feel as well towards the end and see what she thinks of the way the car drives, the way it delivers the power. This car is like, you can go from like a 40 roll to 100 in like a half second. It just, as soon as it, especially on the 10-speed, the 10-speed is the transmission to deliver this power. I don't think you'd get as much enjoyment out of it in a stick car. I think it would still be incredible, don't get me wrong, but I think you would do better with managing this power on the street in an auto car, because when this thing shifts down, it's violent. I mean, it is extremely aggressive, and the shifting is very firm. So this thing will take it. The good thing about this 10-speed is that it just puts you in the power band right where you need to be all the time, and it doesn't hesitate. You'll drop from 9th to 4th in a half second, and it'll just pin you in your seat, and you'll just stay stuck. Like, I don't think you could grab the dashboard if you wanted to once this thing hooks up. Good Lord. Oh my goodness. So that was like 9th to 4th, and we didn't get out of 6th. It shifted 3 times, and it literally just kept, every shift just kind of puts you further and further back into your seat.
I think my camera hit the top of it.
I think it did. I think it hit the ceiling. Take this stretch here and kind of just lay into it for a half second, or roll into it. That way we don't break these tires loose like we did last time. Oh, there's the rubber. Look at the rubber from yesterday. So I drove this car yesterday, and I laid a burnout for maybe 50 feet on the same stretch. at 3/4 throttle, and it just kept going. Oh my god. This thing is just stupid fast. I really love the sound. I think the sound is what I like most about the car. The power is, like, don't get me wrong, the power is insane. For a can tune stage 1.5 Whipple car, it's insane. But the sound, that's what people draw. That's what draws people to the Whipple. It's the power and the sound, because the Roush isn't loud. The Roush is a sleeper car. Like, you can't hear the blower even when you're in it. Like, you rarely hear the blower from the outside. Whereas this car, like, if you roll race on the highway, you're gonna hear this car. When this thing fires up and starts spooling, you're gonna hear it. But even still, it's a sleeper. Like, cruising right now, you don't hear it. If I rolled up on you on the highway, in whatever you're in, your Hellcat, your Demon, whatever it is, and we went for a run, like, you would think that I was a stock GT on street tires until I stepped into it and went wide open, and it would just be all over for you. It would just be. I drove a Hellcat yesterday, and this car would smoke a Hellcat in a heartbeat. It would just pull on it hard. And the owner of the Hellcat that I was driving with was like, "Man, you know, what about those Whipple 18s that you guys are building? You know, I think I could take one of those things down?" And I just, like, smiled at him. I'm like, I don't think so, man. This car would absolutely annihilate a Hellcat, if not annihilate a Demon, with the right suspension and tire setup. The shift is so firm. Like, we're half throttle, and it's just a nice tight shift. Like, you just get like a little. You feel it in the bottom of your seat. That's what you want from an aggressive car. I mean, it's smooth when you're just laying into it. It just goes all the way through the gears. But when you're just kind of rolling in, you just want that tight shift feel. It makes you feel like you're in a strong car, which this one is definitely strong. This is ridiculously fast. Lost the rear end there for a second. Oh my goodness. And the downshift is really, I mean, as we're driving, the downshift is getting better. I mean, we just probably did 5 or 10 miles, and it's getting much better. I mean, just pulling to the stop. Like, when I first fired it up, I was getting downshifts that were banging to like 500 RPMs, and now they're settling at 750, which is where they should be. So this thing, that's something that's new too. This thing's learning how we're driving, which is pretty cool. That's I don't know if that's proprietary to Whipple or not, but that's really neat. It's learning how I'm driving and adjusting itself as we go, which is just, you know, a cool feature of the Whipple tune. You can hear it just a little bit, just a touch on a cruise. You can hear it if you really listen for it. You may not be able to hear it on the camera, but you can just barely hear it. Like the supercharger just spooling. You can hear the belt just for a second, and that may just be the big intake on it, but it's just slightly. So this is a sleeper, man. This will scare some people. Unless your car is flashy and with a loud exhaust and people know not to mess with it, like, this car will go out hunting for sure. This is a 10-second pass on a tire without question. Whipple's car on a tire and a drag spring ran a 10.57 at $138, I think. This car will pull that. You'll run a mid-10 on the right setup on a prep track. See ya, 10-second pass out of the box. It is ridiculous to me that you can spend $40,000 and get a 10-second car out of the box, and you got to spend 60 to 70 to 80 to get a Hellcat or a Demon, and you're making more horsepower in this car. That is just insane. So last year we built what was called the LFP10. For those of you we built a handful of them for owners all over the country, and that was set up to be a 100% drag car. Suspension was 100% refined. You know, drive shaft, half shafts, oil pump gears. It was a stage 2 Roush blower with a custom tune on it, smaller pulleys, bigger injectors, exhaust. I mean, that was drag wheels, tires, the springs. I mean, it was literally 100% built. I think you could take this car, put a set of springs on it, cradle lockout, half shafts, oil pump gears, and put a tire on it, and I think it would run just as good, if not better, easily. And this is a stage 1. This is a stage 1 pulley and a stage 2 throttle body on a Whipple kit, and that's it. On a stock calibration. On a custom calibration, this is a 900 horsepower car with a smaller pulley, easily, which is just, we couldn't say that 10 years ago, and now we can do it in a matter of a week's time. It's ridiculous. It's so cool. Hannah, what'd you think?
I think there was a handful of times where my camera physically hit my head when you laid into it. But no, this scares me.
Very strong.
Yeah. But scary in a good way.
Yeah, oh yeah. It gets you excited, but you're like,
Yeah.
you're wondering if the tires are gonna break loose and you're gonna shoot off the road at the same time.
Yeah. Like,
So,
and there was a handful of times where my stomach was in my throat. But
yeah, pretty much how it feels. I think everyone who's gonna track these cars needs to put a better tire on it, because these, obviously, if you're getting the 18s from the factory, you're getting all seasons. You need a street tire. You need a good, like a Nitto or a Mickey or something like that to be able to manage this car a little bit more. But it's ridiculously fast, guys. I mean, that was 35 to 80 in a second. Ridiculous. I love it. Chris, I cannot wait for you to come get this car, man. You're gonna love every minute of your drive home. And thank you so much for letting us play with it and have some fun in it and beat it up as you requested. It's incredible. You're gonna love this car. You're gonna absolutely love this car. Guys, if you're looking, we're gonna do some more content on this thing before it goes home. So stay tuned with us. Keep following us. We're gonna do a side-by-side comparison of the Roush blower as well. Whipples are coming. That's all I can tell you guys. I mean, I know it's been a long run and it's been a long time we've been waiting, and we're all anxious, and nobody wants to see these cars be built more than me, because I got to look at your guys' cars sitting side by side, and I want to see them run instead of seeing them sit. So just stay tuned. This is worth the wait. Absolutely worth the wait. This is an awesome car. So if you're ready to start your LFP 800 build, 700 build, we're going to be releasing a new build here sometime in the next 2 weeks, so stay tuned for that as well. Give us a call today at Lebanon Ford, or visit us at LebanonFordPerformance.com. Thanks, guys.